You probably think you need a VPS or a Mac Mini just to run Claude-bot reliably. So you start looking at hosting plans, pricing out hardware, and suddenly this simple setup can feel pretty expensive and complicated. And if you get it wrong, you're stuck troubleshooting servers instead of just using the bot. So for this video, I'll show you how to run Claude-bot without a VPS and without a Mac Mini and have it live in just a few minutes. You're going to get a setup that's faster to launch, more secure than running it locally, and powerful enough to scale when you need it. So the solution is a tool here called HappyCapy. It's a bit of a funny name, but I'd still say it's better than Maltbot. Now, to be super clear, this is not actually going to be running Claude-bot exactly, although it will enable us to use the underlying technology of Claude-bot, which is Claude-code, and easily run automations here on top of it. So I'll just quickly scroll through the HappyCapy landing page right here. You can see it says the agent native computer. It calls itself an OpenClaw alternative with no setup. And if I just scroll through here, you'll see Meet HappyCapy. You can obviously have a look at this yourself, but the really core idea of this is that this is kind of a virtual computer in which is going to be hosting Claude-code and running whatever you want through it. So as it says here, this is your own private sandbox. This is completely isolated. It's not connected to your computer, and you're going to be able to run these Claude-code automations with folders and files and all this stuff through this platform directly in the cloud. So really the big benefit of this is obviously if you're running Claude-code natively on your computer, there are some risks that obviously if you're giving it access to your files and whatever and your entire computer, there's definitely a security risk where it's going to be able to access files that you didn't want it to, or just do things on your computer and change things that you didn't want changed. And so by isolating it in an environment like this is going to help out quite a lot. And because this platform is natively integrated into that server, it means that we can very easily update things and change things to do with our files and agents and whatever's happening without having to upload files manually. If you were to host this through your own servers, that is something that you'd have to do. So for now, I'll do a quick walkthrough of the entire platform and just run through how everything looks and works, but it looks pretty similar. Looking at it right now to ChatGPT, you're pretty much able to come through and give it an inquiry exactly as you would Claude-code for building automations and systems. The first thing that I'm going to showcase is if we have a look at the bottom left here, you'll see that we have a sandbox running. So this, as you could think of it, is my virtual computer. This is my virtual computer associated with my account here on HappyCapy. If I click into this, you're going to see CPU, memory, and storage. This is the virtual computer in which is powering my instance of all of these Claude-code automations and whatnot that are running in the background. And so I've got a certain amount of CPU cores, and I've got memory, and I've got storage as well. And so this is what my virtual computer is powering off of, and depending on what I'm looking to do, these are the capabilities that we have. And so every new chat instance here is essentially a new desktop. So if we went ahead and gave it an inquiry, or we told it to do something for us or build an automation to do something, this will create a brand new desktop with a brand new folder with a brand new set of files used to obviously run that automation. Essentially, that folder is what it uses to power and give it context for everything that you've told it previously. And so just quickly coming to an example conversation I've had previously, this right here, I believe I told it to build like an end-to-end workflow for me. If I look at the top here, you'll see session, outputs, uploads, and our claude.md file. If I click in outputs, you'll see right here, this is a JSON file that our instance right here generated and put into the outputs part. And so this is a file in which I can download and use and whatever, but this is also a file in which this particular instance of the chat has complete and full access to. So if I ever wanted to change things or upload things, that is what I'm able to do. And then there's an uploads folder right here. So if I wanted to upload my own files from my local computer into this computer instance, it's going to be able to then access everything that we've uploaded. But the key thing is if I went ahead and created a new desktop for a new inquiry, as you can see on the left here, this is going to create a brand new outputs folder, a brand new uploads folder, a brand new claude.md file. And this is then going to act as a completely separate instance of Claude for us. I'll just quickly run through a couple more features before diving in and actually using this to build something out. But at the top left, we have a skill store. So this is if you want to get access to Claude skills quite easily. We're going to be able to do that if we click right here. You're going to see they've got some that have already been uploaded, but we can get access to upwards of 283,000 different skills from Skills MP. So you've got plenty of things to get access to for all different types of connections and whatnot that you might want to use. And then just below this skill store right here, we've got automations. So if we do want to create scheduled workflow automations to send us a reminder every morning at 9 a.m., or we want to schedule it to run a particular automation to go through a lead list at 9 a.m. in the morning or whatever, we can easily do just by clicking new automation and then pretty much just telling it when do you want to run the automation and what prompt do you want to send to which desktop at what time of the day. And then it's just going to run that prompt over and over and over again to do that particular automation or that task for you. So whilst automations are possible to run through Claude-code as well, and you can run that on your local computer or whatever to run automations to continue to trigger these systems, the downside of locally running your Claude-code instance on your laptop or whatever is that if you were to turn off your laptop or put it on the charger and turn it off, these automations aren't going to get ran. Obviously, it's not going to be running your computer in the background. That is something that you will need some sort of an instance that's always running to be able to get triggered at a certain time to then run that automation. And so by having a tool like this, in which just gives us our own computer in the cloud that we can run this on completely separate to our own local stuff, we do not have to worry about that at all. Overall, that is pretty much it when it comes to the core features. I'm now going to jump in and start to build out a particular automation system through Claude-code and see how well it's able to do it. Once again, it is pretty much just Claude-code. So if you have used it before, it is going to be very similar. Another benefit of this, if you aren't super technical, is that we're also able to get access to every single AI model through HappyCapy natively. So instead of telling it to use a particular model and providing it with our API key and setting up that entire API process, this has natively got access to every single API of different AI models and image models and video models. So we can tell it to, build a movie generator or whatever. And HappyCapy, it's going to look through its list of models that it has access to and decide which one to use. And you're not going to have to add an API key or sign up for another tool in order to get access to that. This is all natively integrated. But if you would like to use your own API keys, obviously you can still go through that process as well. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and send off a request in order to build a system here on HappyCapy. I'm probably going to tell it to build out a YouTube thumbnail designer. We're going to use Nano Banana. I'm going to tell it to look at my YouTube channel, pull back a lot of reference images from my own YouTube thumbnails, build a super accurate thumbnail generator for myself where I can give it a video concept. It's going to reference my previous thumbnails to then generate a brand new one for the next video. Hey, are you able to build a thumbnail generation system? So I need you to look at my YouTube channel and look at and reference a lot of the thumbnails that we've used previously and use this in your engine in order to generate new thumbnails for new videos. So I want to be able to give you a video concept. You're then going to take that and compare it against a lot of the previous thumbnails that we've had before and come up with 3 different outputs or 3 different thumbnails that we're going to be able to use for this video. Please use the Nano Banana image generation model for this, and I will also now attach my YouTube channel for you to reference at the bottom. Okay, so I've quickly just done a bit of speech to text there to send through my request. I've just done a quick speech to text and spoke out exactly what I'm looking for right here. I'm also going to paste in my YouTube channel so we can reference this, but I'm just going to see what happens. I believe it should be able to do everything necessary in order to look at my channel, pull back the thumbnails, chuck that into some sort of a Nano Banana image generation system, and pretty much output 3 different thumbnails for a brand new video once I've given it the new video concept. So this has now been sent off. A new desktop has now been created. So we've got our outputs and our uploads. This is where all of the files that it creates and code files and scripts and whatnot are going to be thrown in there. And then we just got to wait for this to be created. And so right now you can see that it's going through this similar process that your Claude-code would go through, creating all of the subtasks and just going through step by step everything that it needs to do to be able to build out the system exactly as to what you're looking for. Just quickly, you can see that it's actually opened up a browser as well. So you can see this has opened it up once again in its own instance, in its own virtual computer with this browser. I believe right now this is trying to load up the YouTube channel to then pull back some thumbnails as well. And so really just adding to the fact that this is running it virtually. There you go, there's my channel. It's running it virtually. It's not running on my computer. It's completely separate. And obviously that's going to help out in not having to put the stress on your own computer. In the bottom left, you can now see it is starting to get to work with more CPU usage and more memory usage being hit as it's processing this task. Looks like there's still a lot of capacity as well if we wanted to throw in some more tasks at it to get it to work a bit harder. All right, so that just finished up, and you can see here we've got 3 thumbnails that it spat back, but to be honest, they look pretty terrible. I don't think that I would ever obviously use these thumbnails. This is not even me in the thumbnail. I think what happened is that it looked at my thumbnails and it kind of took a description of them to then output again. But what I really wanted was it to download the actual thumbnails, upload them into Nano Banana, and use it as a reference, because that's just how it's going to get that clear reference as to what I look like and what it should look like for the thumbnail. So I've just quickly gone ahead and told it to actually download the thumbnails and use them in the actual generation instance to make it look like a thumbnail that I've created. So hopefully this works. I've just told it to change it up a little bit, but you can see here, once it output that, you can see all 3 images actually on the page right here. It's been able to open them up and reference them. And we can have a look at our outputs, and you can see the thumbnails. It's given us the PNGs, and you can see the code generation that it's done here as well. We've got a Claude MD file, and if you keep going, you'll see some of the code that it's even generating now to be able to do everything that it's doing. But anyways, I'll give it a couple minutes because I've just told it to update how it works, and we'll see if it looks any better. All right, so here we go. It's now completed the revision as to actually using my thumbnails as a reference for this, and they look far better. So you can see this is obviously me now in the thumbnail, which is good. And you can see right here, the top one I think is probably the best. Second and third probably could use some improvements. The graphics do look a little bit AI-ish, so there's probably a lot that we can still do, obviously, to feed it some better materials. Some more examples. I'm not sure how many videos it downloaded. It might have only taken 1 or 2, but this looks pretty good. I mean, the picture of me here looks exactly like one that I would use in one of my thumbnails. The text is all standing out quite well. It's not spelt wrong at all, and that's perfect. This is something that I'm going to be able to use now to come through, give it a brand new video concept idea, tell it to generate 3 different thumbnails, and I'll be good to go. And so something that I could do is head over to the automations tab, and I could set up an automation so that every day at 9 a.m. or whatever, it checks my YouTube channel to see if there's any new videos. If I've uploaded a new video, what I can do is download that thumbnail that I've added to that new video, add that back into its context to continue to use as much thumbnail data as possible to help generate the next set of thumbnails. And just looking at the top here, you can see this tab, which has all of the files that it's currently got open and is using in order to run this system. And so you can see a lot of Python files here. So if you wanted to have a look into these, to look at the specific code, this is what's going on in the background to run this system. You can obviously download these files independently. If you wanted to ever modify them or you wanted to run them locally, that's obviously something that you can do. Now, one last thing that I do want to showcase here on HappyCapy is that they have an agent teams feature, which is something that is available and does happen through Claude-code. What happens is if you give it a potentially complex thing to work through, Claude-code might automatically decide that it needs multiple different agents in order to run simultaneously to complete that task. And when that happens natively through Claude-code, if it's through the terminal or through the web app, you're not actually seeing what's going on in the background. You get some indication through the tasks that it's working on, but you can't actually see the individual agents working independently of each other. And so it's a small thing, but this is actually baked into the UI of HappyCapy. And so if I went ahead and said, can you deploy a team of agents to create 2 thumbnails at once for that previous video? And I send this off, hopefully what we're gonna get are 2 agents pop up working independently of each other that we can actually visually see. And so you can see here, it is now setting up the team, thumbnail team. So we should hopefully now see 2 of these agents working in parallel in just a second. And here we go. So we've got thumbnail generator 1 and thumbnail generator 2. These are now working independently of each other on the left and the right. And this is just something that's cool to see. It's not just something in the background, but we can actually see them working together. Okay, and that is now completed. You can see 2 thumbnails that is just generated working in parallel as well. And once again, they look pretty awesome. One at the top here looks pretty good. A thumbnail that I could definitely make use of. Looks like me, obviously, and the text is done quite well as well. So just to prove the point, it runs exactly like Claude-code. We can connect it into automations as well. But this is something that we are able to run through the cloud like this, and I can pretty much have this running all the time. I don't have to have a dedicated computer or a dedicated virtual private server that has to be running, and everything is all natively integrated and all in one ecosystem. So I literally don't have to jump outside of this one tool to do this. If you are interested in checking the tool out, I'll have it linked down below in the description.